aim is to be the system of record for customer support that really helps you identify how do you make it really good. I think the world right now, our mission is transform and elevate support. Transform is easy because everyone knows how AI is transforming support. The thing with AI agents is if you can get a fully automated experience, that's great. But if you have anything that isn't fully automated, you actually can cause someone's satisfaction to really drop off a cliff, especially with AI. So that's something that we've thought about pretty hard is when do you bring in a human and how do you bring in a human effectively? Elevating support is the hard part. And I think if we in 10 years get to a place where you can understand from a detailed perspective, how do I provide a really good customer experience in an efficient way to the right people that I really want to provide that to, then we will have solved the actual question that we were trying to solve.
All right, hey everyone, welcome back to another episode of Skywatch, Blue Jays podcast. Today we have a super special guest. I got John here from Assembled, one of the co-founders. You'll do a much better job of introducing yourself, so I'll let you take it away, kind of just say a little bit about who you are and a little bit about Assembled.
Yeah, hey folks, I'm John, co-founder CTO at Assembled. We build customer support AI software, so helping make the orchestration layer of how do you get AI agents to automatically respond to your issues, and then making sure that also if we can't respond, that we get you to the right human at the right time. That
makes a lot of sense. Yeah. And could you talk a little bit about the scale you guys operate at today, some of your customers, anything like that?
Yeah, we're Series B. We have quite a few customers across a few different product lines. So DoorDash, Stripe, Robinhood, Salesforce.
Awesome.
They're kind of our marquee customer set. We've been building out AI agents and kind of AI Copilot with Etsy and Canva. So
awesome.
Those have been very exciting.
Cool. You got all the biggest brands to your name. That's awesome, man. Congrats. Yeah, that's super cool. That must be exciting for you guys.
It's very exciting. Yeah, there's a lot going on.
Right, and you guys also just opened a New York office, I saw.
Yeah. New York has been a really big part of our team now.
Yeah. Is that something that you guys have always wanted to do, or how are you?
That kind of just grew organically, honestly. At first it was one guy who's in New York, and it was okay, we'll get a WeWork, and then all of a sudden we started
more people just wanted to go to New York, and
I think that it was the SF to New York migration a little bit.
I'm actually really curious about that because I feel like a lot of SF people want to go to New York, and they're kind of trying to push companies there slowly. How do you feel about that though, from a founder perspective?
Well, I think there's in 2024 it was very New York centric, and now I think a lot of people are moving back actually because all the AI stuff is here.
That's kind of my thought process too, but at the same time I feel like your engineers always want to go there as well, so it's an interesting dynamic.
It's a super interesting dynamic. Yeah, I think the set of players in New York is very different too.
Gotcha.
It's just not as heavily big tech. So it's just a whole different type of people that are there.
Gotcha.
And it can actually be better for startups.
Right. Makes sense. Okay. Well, we'll get into all of that and Assembled in a bit. I want to understand more about your background, kind of your founder story, where you started, how you even came up with the idea for Assembled. Take us back, all the way maybe to college even.
Okay.
And kind of just, walk us through your journey.
Yeah. So I was thinking about this recently because I went to MIT, and I originally was super into econ.
Okay.
I thought I was
funny. Okay.
I thought I was gonna get an econ PhD, and in high school I had done all this research with econ professors, and I was this is my jam. Then I went to MIT, and my roommate had just been coding since he was 12, and I was
you hooked on.
He got me hooked.
Okay.
Yeah, and so that was where I started, and kind of right out of MIT. Actually, I graduated a semester early so I could go to YC with a couple of friends, and we built this e-commerce startup. That was really fun, but it was just not a big business. Super profitable, but just in a particular niche. And
what was the name of that company?
It was called Zinc.
Zinc.
Okay. Yeah, it was actually a really funny company. We would we sold to drop shippers.
Okay.
Essentially, and we sold like.
So you were during that hype cycle. you were okay. Awesome.
Yeah. It was really funny. And yeah, but then I went to Stripe, and that's where I met my co-founders at Assembled. Well, actually, one of my co-founders is my brother.
Yeah, so I assumed as much.
I've known him for a while.
Right.
My other co-founder, Brian, met at Stripe, and that was a great time because everyone at Stripe early on was just so smart.
Interesting.
And yeah, that's
what caused, like, going back to MIT, what caused the switch from, because I have a similar story. I went to U Chicago.
Okay.
But I wanted to do computer science.
Yeah.
But honestly, like, it makes no sense for me to go to U Chicago if I want to do computer science. I feel like it's the same thing though.
Yeah.
With them. It makes no sense, or maybe more sense to do econ at MIT. But like, what caused? Was it just truly your roommate, or like, was there something else that kind of pushed you there as well?
Good question. So in high school, when I thought of econ, I had like read all these econ papers, and econ was just like math, right? To me, it was like, okay, you write a paper, you make a model of the world, and you like find what's happening in this model. It's either that or econometrics, where you're essentially just like doing a study on like data, and you're trying to figure out what's going on.
Yeah.
And then I went to MIT and was like, okay, you take Econ 101, and you've got like, just like you're learning these like curves, and it's like, what is this?
Yeah.
This is dumb.
Yeah.
And then I think the other thing I noticed was just like all the smart people were taking CS classes and math classes. Right. And I was like, I actually vividly remember one of my friends. He like hadn't gone to class. All semester. And he like went into the final. And he like literally knew nothing about econ. He just like proved everything on the way to
that's crazy.
his like final, and he like he aced it. And I was like, okay, if this is what can happen, it's like maybe I need to like be doing what he's doing.
Yeah, exactly. Interesting. Yeah, I know. You know what? Those kids, I had some of those friends too. I could never understand it because that was never me. Like I was like grinding it out, trying to figure out what was going on before the class. But that's cool. How has it been running a company with your brother? I feel like that's an interesting story. Yeah.
I actually really like it. Because I have a bunch of co-founder friends who like they'll be like, we have all these co-founder problems, or you know, this person doesn't seem in it the same way that I do. And like Ryan and I argue a lot. Like we have a ton of like disagreements. But at the end of the day, like I know that he's got like
there's nothing like he's your brother.
He's my brother. He's got the best interests of the company, myself, like where we want to go at heart. And like we're gonna do right by each other. So that's kind of a really, really nice layer of just like blanket security there.
Exactly. Yeah, it's a protection that never can go away.
Exactly.
That's awesome. Okay, cool. And what about the idea for Assembled as well? Because that's like kind of different from what you were previously working on, right? Like, I mean, drop shipping to like AI agents with like in the customer support industry, like that's like a pretty big shift.
Pretty big shift. Good. The funny thing was that so my brother Ryan and our third co-founder Brian, they were at Stripe. Their final project was actually this thing to make customer support better. And I remember talking to Ryan and him being like, talking to me like kind of like being pretty upset. He was like, I had just talked to this product manager very high up at Stripe. Like we really wanted to like you know, continue pushing this internal tool that we're building. It saved like millions of dollars per year. And this like PM just like blew us off and was like, hey, I got this Bitcoin project that you should definitely work on instead. It was like just like trying to poach him for this other project. I was like, wow, wait, that means, okay, so first of all, you saved Stripe like how many millions of dollars? And then the second, like no one understands or cares about this. And so like you could, one way to look at that is like, okay, like not a good business.
No one understands.
No one understands it. The other way to look at that is like opportunity. Right? Because it's like, there are obviously, like, if you think about like millions of dollars being saved,
it's an obvious benefit.
Yeah,
right?
it's a benefit.
Yeah.
So that's when we're like, okay, this we actually need to work harder on. And that was the genesis.
Have you guys gone back to that Stripe PM?
We have not. I won't name names on that one.
No, you don't have, but it maybe sounds like a good lead to go back to, potentially.
Yeah, no, not. That's true. That's true.
Yeah. Say, hey, I built the internal project outside of Stripe, and you can use it now.
Stripe is a customer now. So.
Oh, okay, they are. Okay.
Yeah.
Good. Okay, there you go. So it worked out one way or another.
It did. It very much did. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, super cool, man. Walk me through, like, so you guys build AI agents now across, like, I know it's a lot of different modalities. It's like text, it's email, it's voice, right? You guys have like an integrated platform. Walk me through that process. Maybe talk a little bit more about the product, exactly like what you guys are building.
Yeah.
And then I'll have some pointed questions too.
Yeah, totally. Yeah. We started off with support, like enabling your human support agents to be better.
Right.
So this was what we call Copilot. It's like, you know, how providing you pre-generated answers, helping you draft replies, things like that.
And this was in which was this a cross modality? Like,
this was just for email.
Just for email. Okay.
Originally. Then we realized, hey, actually the where customer support leaders are actually looking is to just automate things before it even gets to a human.
Right.
So that's when we realized, okay, we need to actually start building out kind of like the automation aspects.
And when did you guys start the business?
Originally, we started in 2018.
Okay.
So this
was like a lot, like this was significantly before.
The original product that we actually built was this thing called workforce management.
Okay.
That powers actually quite a lot of our revenue.
Okay.
Then in 2023, when LLMs came out, we were like, okay, we need to do something here.
Yeah.
So the workforce management side of things is actually, how do you figure out how many people to hire, to where to staff them, where to how do you forecast that?
Right.
And that's actually still a really big part of our story, because I think part of the thing with AI agents is, like, if you can get a fully automated experience, that's great. Yeah. But if you have anything that isn't fully automated, you actually can cause someone's satisfaction to really drop off a cliff, especially with AI. Yeah. So that's something that we've thought about pretty hard, is like, when do you bring in a human and how do you bring in a human effectively? And there's like a big Pareto optimal cost curve, right? Oh, really? It's like you can like either spend a ton of money and like use a bunch of humans. Or you can be like, okay, no, I'm actually going to be on this side of the curve, where it's like less money, but I want to provide really good experiences for, say, my enterprise customers. Right. And that's the type of experience that we want to help.
But you guys, I assume, aren't managed. Are you guys also managing? I assume you work with other providers for like the actual like human labor. We
don't manage the human labor. We just help you figure out how many and where to send the.
And so how does that work? Like, if you guys like go to an enterprise, right? Like, they will handle the human labor themselves, and then you'll just tell them, hey, when do you bring in someone? Is that the idea?
Yeah, usually they're working with these things called BPOs. So like Philippines and Jamaica and like South Africa are really popular for these. But you'll work with a BPO outsourcer. Right. And you might have multiple of these. Yeah. And there's actually many teams of people whose job is to, how do you manage these different outsourcers, right?
Absolutely.
So our original enterprise product was like, okay, like, we can help you manage all these outsourcers, because there's a ton of complexity. Like, some outsourcers are better than others, right? Some outsourcers are cheaper than others, but they might not be better. Right. How do you make those trade-offs?
How do you do the routing?
Yeah.
And so what was like, so you mentioned like this like ideal like curve, right? Around, hey, how do I know when to bring a human in? Yeah. What are the trade-offs that your customers often consider? What are the trade-offs that you guys have kind of built in, where it's like, hey, you know what? Right now we want to optimize for quality, right? And actually, no, now we want to optimize for cost. I assume those are the two things that you guys are looking for. And maybe to complete it, like a triangle, maybe there's also like a sentiment portion as well.
Totally.
Yeah. So like, kind of like walk me through, like, how do you guys balance that arena?
Yeah. Well, it really does depend on kind of like what someone is wanting to do. Yeah. But the biggest change between, like, if you want to have the least amount of costs,
yeah,
then you're usually using AI in a ton of places.
Okay.
You're usually trying to deflect things as much as possible, right?
Yeah.
Like you're okay with someone getting a little bit angry to kind of like figure out, you're okay with making the process to get to a human more difficult, right? So you can put up guards basically that make it more difficult to get to a human, unless it's like a really, really key legal issue, right? Like that's not a whole lot of people. Like most people don't want that experience for their customers. So most people are actually kind of in the middle somewhere where it's like, okay, if someone's paying me $0, I will provide a little bit more friction than if someone is, paying me $50,000 a year. And our AI agents can basically toggle the handoff sensitivity that you have.
Interesting. Okay.
You should also be able to toggle your handoff sensitivity based on whether or not you have people staffed and ready to go, right? So for example, even if you want a good experience, and you're like, actually this was really funny because originally when we first built the product, we were just like, oh, just hand off to humans, like that'll cause better quality. But that's not actually true. If you hand off to a human and there's no human waiting, and you have like way too much volume of contacts, then that's going to be a really bad experience. You're going to sit there for 40 minutes.
There's also something interesting that I've started to notice as well. Like, so, I mean, we go to a lot of customers who are building like voice agents and chat agents, and like I've like listened to conversations, and then I've also listened to conversations when a human handles them. And actually, I was surprised by this. I think it's something people always say, but then I actually got to witness it, where humans they don't have the same consistent experience, right? So even if like, it's kind of funny, I would say like even now, like if you take a voice experience specifically, I would say the best human, like the top 1%, is probably better than the voice agent. That being said, the voice agent's just better than like 95% because it's consistent, right? We work with a customer who cares a lot about upsells, right? And so the agent's always going to upsell. Human doesn't want to upsell all the time, right? And so like in your case, right, it's like, hey, like, do I actually want to hand it off to a human every time, where like there's a big question mark there of like, hey, is it actually going to follow the rules as it's supposed to?
Totally. I mean, that's a huge part of the, like, before AI, like all these customer support teams, they built out these huge documents about like how do you follow a flow, and like you'd like build out software that was like really specific for humans to kind of like make them like AIs a little bit.
Exactly.
And I think the whole industry is gonna have to completely unlearn that. Because like the ideal human interaction is actually like you're just having a human conversation,
exactly.
And that is going to be probably the top agents. And kind of like the middle, or
the middle to the low pack is not going to follow that same bar, right? No, I almost think about it as like it's like a manufacturing line, and like the question is like how consistent of an experience can you have? Like if I go to Chick-fil-A, for example, like I know that the Chick-fil-A chicken nuggets can taste the same every single time, right? You almost kind of want to have like a similar like. But that being said, I think where the real magic comes is like if the AI evolves enough, can you have the 1% experience every single time, which I think is yet to be seen. I don't know if you have any thoughts on that.
I think it's very close. I mean, like just seeing the changes in Claude Code or like Codex over the last like 3-6 months. It's unbelievable. Like I thought in December I had been like all through like all my wow moments of AI. But I think like very recently, just like being able to build things so fast. Like yesterday, Cursor came out with this like Cursor agent that allows you to connect your dev environment. And we had been working on this for a really long time, and our engineering team was like, how are we going to set up our dev environment so that agents can access it? We've been thinking about this, and then like I just plugged it in. I was like, hey, here's all of our readmes and docs. And it just worked. And it just worked. And I was like, wow. That's pretty cool. That's insane. You know, and like I think if you just continue on the like it doesn't even have to be a super linear line. It's just like some amount of progress every single month. You're gonna see something really cool soon.
Interesting. Yeah, no, I think it's definitely progressing super fast, and I'm really curious to see if it kind of can make its way into like these like 10x delightful experiences.
Yeah.
I don't think I've personally seen it just quite yet.
Yeah.
It's almost like, it's like I equate, like if I went to like a really traditional diner, right?
Yeah.
And you have that like classic with your like friends like diner experience where the waitress or the waiter is like super nice to like a different degree.
Right.
Where it almost feels like you're in someone's home.
Yeah.
Like I feel like we haven't achieved that yet.
Totally.
And achieving that will be pretty cool to see.
Yeah. I guess I'm less optimistic as to, I haven't seen that experience either.
Yeah.
I think I'm more commenting on it, if I extrapolate the curve.
Right.
I would not be surprised if in 1 to 2 years you see something where it's like, wow.
Yeah.
This
it's just
like,
100%. Yeah, no, and it also needs to be widespread. Like I think I was it's funny, I had a Southwest flight, so I called the Southwest customer support, and it was just like the worst. It was routing me through. It was doing the thing where it was like I had a very simple question too, but like whenever I like I just said my question directly, but it wouldn't work. Like it wasn't routing, it wasn't answering, and so then eventually I was like, okay, please just connect me to a human. And then I eventually, so it's still not there because it's like I think the technology is there, but like all these enterprises are still yet to adopt it. Okay, curious a little bit about, so as it moves away from humans, right? And you guys started out with like the staffing problem, right? And now your company's obviously transitioning. How do you kind of see Assembled's future? Because like, do you think a large amount of humans will still be required in these processes? Do you think that staffing product that you guys built is something that will continue? Like, how do you think about that? Or are you guys fully moving to like an automation side of things?
I think there's kind of like different time horizons to look at it. Like in the short term, we actually have seen like not that much effect on staffing. Like I actually did an analysis recently of like everyone in our customer base who has actually who has any AI agent turned on, whether it's us, whether it's Sierra, Decagon, whether it's like Finn or Zendesk.
Right.
And across the board, actually, usually the number of humans has increased, surprisingly.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah, like 75-80% of the time.
Even with these tools.
Yeah.
Okay.
And actually the funniest one, it was like we had looked at one particular customer who was like a very early customer of one of these, like one of our competitors, like case study on their front page. In the last 2 years, they've doubled their support team, even though their resolution rates were like 80-90%.
And why is that? Is it because now like, hey, like we can hire more people to do different parts of the process, or is something just awry here and like someone's not telling the truth?
Yeah, you know, I think it might be a combination of all the above.
Okay.
I think like resolution rates belie the fact that like if you make it easier to contact support and to get a question, I'm gonna contact you more, right? Like just like how now Google search, I like use like ChatGPT. I ask ChatGPT all sorts of random questions that I never would have done before.
Yeah, that's true.
So like the total volume increases, but also I think like they're like all these companies are growing, right? And so like even if you do 90% of all resolutions, or if you resolve 90% of all tickets, like if the big bin continues to grow fast, like that actually drives a lot of volume to your humans. And finally, all of the human tickets are now way harder.
I see.
And so handle times increase. So that I think that's the short term. That's the short term. I think medium to long term, you're gonna see really big reductions. I think in human staffing. And I think there's pretty good evidence that you will be able to have like big reductions there.
I mean, the thing you said though is still like, it's like mind-boggling to me, right? Because it's like, and these enterprises are still buying these products.
Still buying. There's something awry somewhere, right? It's like,
like something doesn't like add up there in my head.
The math doesn't math right now.
Yeah, no, and because like also I mean it's kind of funny, right? Like we sometimes engage like Indian companies, and Indian companies approach like the price from a completely different perspective because they're just like,
Sure.
Like, so like QAing calls, for example, right? Like, they're like, hey, I could honestly hire someone who'd do it cheaper than your LLM calls, right?
Totally.
And so in that case, like, why not just do the human?
Yeah.
Right. So then you have to make like a quality argument, right? Almost for if you're gonna pay more.
Yeah.
But I'm like, it's still surprising to me. This is really like, why do you? What are some other reasons?
Well, you know, that actually comes up like not infrequently. I was talking to one of our customers who has a call center out of Jamaica.
Right.
And Jamaica is dirt cheap.
Yeah.
Like, you can get like 10 cents per minute.
Right.
Or thereabouts. Right. When you're talking to a human down there.
Right. Yeah.
And like, that's pretty hard to, you know, beat. Yeah. I really think it's a combination of all these factors, right? It's like, you've got people who are chatting in more. You've also got teams that are probably reskilling a little bit, right? Like, they're doing different things now, and also these AI agents they don't run themselves yet. Easily, right? Like, you have to actually usually spin up a few folks on your team, who are gonna like figure out. Yeah, exactly.
Okay. Makes sense.
And yeah, I think that it's also like, change management is hard, right? Like, even if you do get really good results from an AI agent, you're still gonna have to, like, are you gonna cut 50% of your team immediately? That's a really tough proposition to go to your team with, because like, then the other 50%
are gonna be like, what the hell, yeah,
what's going on here? So that all of these things make it actually much more difficult in like real enterprises to see the real gains that were promised. So you know, a little bit of like froth, I guess. There.
Yeah. What modality do you see like most interaction with between like email, text, and voice, considering you're doing all three channels?
It's usually text and chat. Okay. I think most. And we did an analysis on this, and I think it's pretty consistent. Like, I saw Zendesk and Intercom doing similar analyses. It's the amount of volume that goes to chat is increasing over time, quite significantly. Especially because now people are like have these AI agents that you can put in front and make chat, and also like Gen Z and kind of like the younger folks don't want to like talk to people as much anymore.
Interesting.
So,
and is email just like, are you including text and chat with email, or is that separate?
Email, I would say, is separate. Email is like, email still has volume, but it's not as significant.
Gotcha. So like the ranking would be like text and chat, voice, and then email?
Voice, I think, really depends on the type of company you have, right? Like, a lot of e-commerce like will start off and just not do voice at all, because it's easy to just automate things away with email and chat.
Gotcha. What industries do you see the adoption for voice kind of being higher in?
Probably financial services, health tech, places where actually providing good, you know, like good service is actually important.
Interesting.
Yeah, we don't have very many airline customers, but I would guess that would be.
Yeah, no, I feel like with an airline, I always go for my phone.
Yeah.
No, I think you're right. Like, depending on the industry, like if I'm buying something from an e-commerce site, I'll try to never call. Totally. It'll just be like, hey, like, where's my refund at?
Yeah.
But with some of these other industries, I guess for an airline, I always call because I'm looking for a response like immediately, because it's typically more urgent. So yeah, I think that makes a lot of sense. How are you guys thinking about it in terms of like where you invest time into these agent experiences? Correct me if voice is relatively new still.
Voice is relatively new.
What caused you to make that investment, and how do you guys think about like chat versus voice kind of in the future? Like, where are you guys going to place more time into? How do you think about them as like integrated systems?
Yeah, well, we've been building. The reason why we built out voice is because I think our customers were asking for it, right? Like, we had built out these chat and email agents, and then like the natural next step is like, can you take the same systems that we have, so that I don't have to like rebuild this the AI agent again for voice with another provider, so I think that's where we kind of built out like the suite of products. You build the platform a single time. Like, you set up your tools once, you set up, you know, your configurations, your style, like what what is your company about, your integrations, etc.
Yeah.
And then you should have it for all the different channels.
Right.
We're focusing on chat and voice the most going forward, because that's where the kind of like automations happen the most.
Right.
And I think the other places that we're trying to like focus on is like how do these interplay with kind of like our existing workforce management systems.
Yeah.
In particular, like, can we give you good insights as to how to like best utilize your humans and your AI?
Right.
Because like I said, if you've got agents in Jamaica, that you should use that.
Them, right,
and you should use that correctly. And like we think of the new world of AI agents very similarly to the old world of like you had human agents, and you should be able to orchestrate across both of them and figure out like what's the best blend for what I'm trying to achieve.
No, I think it should be a very like a customer comes in, maybe speaks to an IVR or an agent, or an IVR to an agent, right? Then after that, it either gets solved or it goes to a human, and you should have full visibility over that entire structure. Yeah. How are you building your agents? It's workflow based right now, right? Is that correct?
Yeah, it's a combination of, so in our workflows, we have a bunch of different tools that you can use. Right. One of them is what we call a guide. It's like kind of a sub-agent, essentially. So you can just write through all of the different tools that you might want to use, or kind of like instructions. But overall, it's like the way I would think about our agents right now is like the first thing that you will get is a knowledge answer. If we can't give you a knowledge answer, we'll kind of like fall back onto workflows, or kind of like any particular overrides that you have set up.
Gotcha.
And then if we really can't do that, we'll fall back to a human.
Gotcha. Okay. And what was like was there ever a consideration to just go fully like mono prompt based agent and avoid the whole workflow thing? Or not really?
Yeah, I mean, I think actually for voice, our system is much more kind of like, we have an orchestrator that runs, takes you to the correct agent. We've played around there, and we've done that less so on chat. I think chat is actually, just because the types of questions we get on chat is like much more straightforward. Usually a knowledge question, like people understand what you're getting with the chat bot. But voice is, there's a lot of different types of reason. So we've gone much more into the world of, we have an orchestrator agent. The orchestrator decides like how to pass off or whether to move to different workflows.
Gotcha.
And that has worked pretty well. Though it has, like, you know, we've actually experimented with speech to speech a lot.
Oh really? Okay.
And it's not quite good enough for us to like pull it into production.
Yeah, I would feel like speech to speach for your kind of industry would be difficult.
We haven't gotten it to work, unfortunately. If you have
I'd be very
ideas,
surprised.
If you have ideas, like we're open, but like we really were excited about the latency and kind of like the naturalness of the language.
Makes sense.
But just couldn't get it to work.
Yeah, I think in your type of industry, I don't see people doing speech to speech. I think that's mainly in purely conversational, no tools being executed. Like if you like think of like a therapy bot, I can see it working well there. But right now it's kind of hard. But unless we get some serious, which I think we will, some seriously cool advancements and stuff. So cool. We've got like 5 to 6 minutes left. I'm gonna ask you just some random questions.
Sure.
Okay. First one is as a founder, I'm sure you've seen a lot of good, a lot of lows, right? What's been like a crazy low, maybe, that's happened, and how did you guys recover from that? And you know, we have founders tune in, so like maybe they can learn from that. I can also learn from that. Right? So that's the first question.
Two things come to mind. One was SVB happening. That was just more of like a system shock, where it's like, oh, we might lose like tens of millions of dollars here. That would suck. I think the other one was one of our best engineers left. And that was tough because they got poached by Cursor, and I saw the offer. I was like, well, I mean, that's pretty reasonable. You know, like, we cannot pay you a significant chunk of our company to stay. And I think how we got around that, well, it was really like, okay, like, just going back to fundamentals, right? It's like we need to hire well.
Right.
We need to go and like have focus in all of the things that we think are going to make the company better.
Right.
And again, it comes down to, can we go out and like improve hiring and like focus on that?
Yeah.
Because you can't really do anything about great people leaving, but it makes it better when you have a funnel of people coming in.
Yeah. No, that makes a lot of sense. What is one take that you have that most people would disagree with?
Whoa. That doctors are basically customer support agents. In a different...
You had that like right off the tip of your tongue, ready to go.
No, totally, because like one of the things that I think is, and hopefully I don't get flamed for this, like I've actually told this to doctors and they were so mad at me.
Oh really?
But like, okay, think about it.
Yeah.
If you're a doctor, like your general practitioner, you are really triaging these patients into the right places, and you're doing similar to like tier 1, tier 2 support, where it's like you're trying to figure out if this person has an issue. If they have an issue, you need to like send them to an x-ray or like do something, or send them to a specialist, right? And like you're performing diagnostics, right? When you get to a specialist, that's like tier 3, when you have specialist support agents who are really good at a specific thing and you're handling that. But the worst part is like if you're at one specialist on the system and you need to get to the other specialist in the system, then you're screwed. You know, that's like your Southwest example of like I'm making 3 hops through the system to get there, and like that's very, very similar between support and healthcare.
Interesting. You know, I don't know if I fully agree. I'm curious.
It's a hot take.
It's a hot take. No, you provided what I asked for, so there you go. Okay, the Tesla's screwing up there. People honking, getting angry. Cool. One of my other questions is, where do you see? So I think I've understood a little bit about Assembled in terms of like where you guys are headed, right? Where do you see this company like 10 years from now? Like, what's the vision there? What's the dream? Like, where do you guys think you'll be?
I mean, the dream is to be the system of record for customer support that really helps you identify like how do you make it really good. I think the world right now, like our mission is transform and elevate support. Transform is easy because like everyone knows how AI is like transforming support. Elevating support is the hard part. And I think if we in 10 years get to a place where you can understand from a like a detailed perspective, how do I provide a really good customer experience in an efficient way to the right people that I really want to provide that to, then we will have solved like the actual question that we were trying to solve. And it's like, we should make your support experiences actually better.
Gotcha. Okay, cool. Big goal. Ambitious goal.
Very ambitious, yeah.
Okay, one final question, a little more lighthearted, which is like kind of like a signature question I ask to everyone. Blue Jay obviously has a mascot, which is the Blue Jay bird. We like to understand from like people that we talk to, if you could have a mascot that would represent your brand, what would that mascot be and why?
We could have a mascot. Well, we do have this thing called Cal.
Okay.
He's our he's like a calendar, actually.
Okay.
He's like an anthropomorphic calendar, and he's like this fun little calendar that kind of like dances around.
Okay.
And I think that actually is pretty close to
a mascot.
Yeah.
You know, you're the first person who's answered with a non-animal. Actually, that's not true. The Cartesia's Arjun said Yoshi.
Oh, okay. I like that.
A little. Still, I guess. Would you classify that as an animal?
I mean, close enough.
Close enough, right? Okay, if it wasn't Cal, and if it was an animal,
if it had to be an animal, oh man, shoot, probably like maybe an owl. Like somewhat, like the reason is because you don't usually see them, but they're like there, and they're making lots and lots of decisions. They're incredibly intelligent, and they're kind of like the people who are moving things around in the background that you don't really know about.
That's a good answer. I think that's the second time
has owl come up before?
Owl has come up before, so that's a good answer. I liked it. I like the reasoning behind it too. Okay, well, cool. Thanks for coming on the podcast. It's great having you.
Yeah.
All right.